Nietzsche and the accountant. So, what does an accountant actually do? Well, we can think of an accountant like a detective. They collect clues like receipts, invoices, and bank statements, and organize all that evidence into financial reports like income statements and balance sheets. And these create a clear picture of what is happening in the business. And that picture then helps the business owner understand its performance and decide what to do next. Once the accountant has put all the clues together, what can they tell us about the business and business in general? Well, the accountant's reports help us evaluate a business through things like performance, achievement, effectiveness, and profit. But why do we value these things as signs of success in the first place? This is where Nietzsche becomes useful. Think of Nietzsche like a detective of values. He looks at the things we use to judge the world and asks, where did these values come from? Why do we value them? And how did they become so important to us? Applied to the values of business, we can then ask what drives us to keep pushing ourselves to become more and more successful. Well, think of it like climbing a mountain. Each obstacle gives us an opportunity to become more capable. When we overcome something difficult, we experience a sense of power and achievement because we've proven that we can do something we couldn't do before. Now, imagine a business owner climbing their own mountain. They face competition, uncertainty, and limited resources, with each challenge requiring them to develop new skills, solve problems, and find ways forward. As the business succeeds, profit becomes one way of showing that they have successfully overcome those challenges. But what happens when achievement becomes valuable in and of itself? Think back to our mountain climbing business owner. At first they climb because they have a goal, build the business and overcome its challenges. As they become more skilled, they may begin to value the ability to keep climbing, overcome harder challenges, and become increasingly capable. But does becoming better at achieving something tell us whether the goal itself is worth pursuing? And this brings us back to accounting. Certainly, profit gives us a measure of business success, but why do we value profit as a measure of success in the first place? I think Nietzsche would find the accountant fascinating. They take the complexity of economic life and create a system of values through which that activity can be interpreted. As our business owner climbs their mountain, the accountant can tell us how well they're doing, how much revenue they've generated, their expenses, and how much profit they've made. But does reaching the top tell us whether it was worth climbing the mountain in the first place? And in a sense, that's the question Nietzsche leaves us with. The accountant can help us measure how successfully we are pursuing a goal, while Nietzsche gives us the tools to step back and examine the goal itself. Where did it come from? Why do we value it? And where does it take us?